If you click this video hoping to learn a clever new recipe for poultry, not much of a chef, can't really help you there, but what I will help you with is making chicken salad out of chicken. Welcome back to World-Beater Wrestling. I would say that for most of us who have professionally wrestled on live events, at one point or another, a booker or promoter has given us a direction that we didn't quite agree with. Now, you've got a few ways of reacting to this kind of situation. You could put on the boo-boo face, you could drag your feet, you could whinge to whoever will listen, or you could take it in stride, take it as a challenge, and try to overcome with the direction you've been given. I think having a positive perspective is very important in a subjective sport like wrestling, where it's very easy to get a little bit too big for your boots. When it comes down to it, every single minute that we have in the ring in front of a paying audience is important. Maybe you've been given 3 minutes instead of the 10 you hope were allocated. That's still 3 minutes that could have been given to someone else. That's 3 minutes that could have been added onto the end of someone else's match. If you're a professional, if you're good enough at what you do, you should be able to make the most of every second that you're in the ring. Or maybe you just don't agree with things logically. You feel like the storyline you've been put in or the result of the storyline just doesn't really make sense. For me, I would say that if you don't agree with someone, voice your opinions, but always have an alternative. If you come to the party with nothing but complaints, but no alternative that you can pitch, you're part of the problem. You're going to position yourself as someone who isn't a team player, is difficult to work with, and ultimately, they're not going to want to put you in these situations in the future. And I don't mean just pitching one alternative, pitch several. And always think about exactly why you think it should go this way and how it's going to help all parties involved. Now, what happens if the bookers put their feet down and say, this is exactly how it's going, sorry, but we're doing it our way? For me, I've always taken that as a challenge. How can I still get the desired response? How can I still tick the boxes that they want from me? And how can I still put my own flair on things to get the best for everyone involved? And the way I see it, if they're adamant about their position, you do it the best you can, but if it doesn't work, it's their hill to die on. Maybe in the future, with a bit of equity, they'll take your opinions on board. But as someone who's been on both sides of the spectrum, as a pro wrestler, as well as a booker, I know exactly how difficult it can be to get your ideas across and put all pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together. If we think about my previous episode on the hierarchy of pro wrestling, a booker has to think about so many things before they think about your match. They've got to think about their promotion as a whole. They've got to think about the individual show as a whole. They've got to look at every single match on the card and make sure they all fit in. If 2 or 3 of the matches are perfect, but then the other 4 or 5 just don't really make sense, and you've got an undercard that's going to be underwhelming and not support those main event matches, and then the following show has nothing ready and prepared for it, then maybe some of those matches have to be trimmed, cut, changed, or delayed. It's part of the difficulty of being creative in pro wrestling. It's very easy for someone on the other side who is only thinking about themselves and their match and their storyline to have a negative opinion if they don't know about all the different moving parts that make a show or make a promotion. I guess what I'm trying to say is just be open-minded. Just remember that it's not all about you and that there are other things that are often at play that the bookers and promoters can't really control. If you have a better idea, pitch it as passionately as you need to, but if it doesn't work out that way, do your best with the minutes you've got, because that's what a true professional would do.
If you want to see more videos like this, click on the subscribe button, spread the word, and if you have any questions or requests for World Beater Wrestling, don't be afraid to comment below.